In today's lecture, we're going to talk about data mining process, methods, and algorithms. Why do we do data mining? Data mining is really something that in today's world we need to do to be competitive. The reason is because we have a high volume of quality data available on all of our customers, vendors, and also the transactions that take place in our organization. And being able to integrate this data into our decision-making process allows us to be able to get that edge to be able to make decisions smarter and wiser. Without being able to convert this information into something that will drive decision-making, reduces our ability to compete in the marketplace. Now, the definition of data mining is listed as the non-trivial process of identifying valid, novel, potentially useful, and ultimately understandable patterns in data stored in structural databases. I would also add to it that it could be data stored in unstructured databases. But the most important thing to know is that we're actually extracting something from the data that will give us insights. So this brings apart the idea that data mining is actually a term that's a misnomer because it can be called knowledge extraction, pattern analysis, knowledge discovery, information harvesting, pattern searching, and data dredging. However, to be a strong and knowledgeable expert in data mining, you have to have some type of expertise and skill in multiple areas that are either related to mathematics, computer science, information systems, or even management. So for example, in this diagram here, we have the idea that we include statistics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, which are components of math as well as computer science, into our data mining process. But also we have this idea of management science and information systems, as well as database management, which is a mix of information systems and management, as well as that art form of visualizing information. So when you can do all of these things well, you can aid in providing information from the data, which makes useful in the process of data mining. So some of the key characteristics and objectives of data mining is that data typically comes from some type of data warehouse, but not always, which is why we spend a good part of our course in constructing data warehouses and dimensional models. However, our data is what's most important, no matter if it's unstructured or structured. And it is going to be the question from the data miner that is going to be the most important thing as to what motivates and drives the data mining project. In order to get something useful, we have to have some creative thinking. So although it's good to be able to understand how data mining tools and capabilities work, it's also important to know what it is you're trying to accomplish and use these tools to your advantage in decision making. Now, data mining works by identifying patterns in data. You see this little picture on the right, and we can see that that there's some ducks and fish and even a cat. But it's data mining that will draw these lines here that will be able to identify the differences between these types of data. Without this separation, it could be that all of these would be just animals, and we wouldn't know how to separate those animals. So data mining gives us tools to identify our patterns of association, also allows us to predict and cluster data, and in time series type data like forecasting, it can help us determine different types of relationships. So here's a basic taxonomy of data mining tools. And our textbook splits them into three main areas of prediction, association, and segmentation. And the idea is with prediction is that you have some kind of y variable that you're trying to determine the x's that will predict that y. Association is the idea if you have multiple pieces of data and you're seeing which pieces of data are linked. Association is very similar to segmentation. However, segmentation, you're really looking at things that would be apart from associating, more like how can you separate things into different groups. So association is finding out the interdependencies between data, and segmentation is separating those out. Now also in this slide, we have these definitions of supervised type algorithms and unsupervised algorithms. The key point here is that a supervised algorithm requires data that already has an output y that's been observed and known input x's, and it allows us to create a model, right? That model will take future x's and then give us a new y. It's kind of like a recipe. Once we know the ingredients, we always know if we follow the recipe what we're going to get. And this is based on the fact that previous examples of recipes have produced the same result. However, unsupervised is like not knowing the recipe. You have all these ingredients, which is X, but you do not know what is going to come out of it. So you put all the X's in, and then you wait to see what ends up being the result. So you put them in a blender, sample it afterwards, and then you taste it, and you then make a decision whether the combination is good or not good. We'll talk more about supervised and unsupervised type algorithms in the future, but you can see in the graphic on the right-hand column that we have the different learning types of algorithms that come into play. So this can be an important aspect of data mining algorithms in your selection as a data miner. So there's other types of data mining tools. There's time series forecasting, which looks for the sequence in events. Other people consider data visualization to be another type of data mining. One thing that's really important to discuss is what is the difference between data mining and statistics. Well, as we saw earlier, statistics is a component of data mining, but statistics doesn't always give you a question that will drive a particular decision. So statistics will go into data mining, and data mining is founded heavily on what statistics has to offer. But data mining also includes that whole perspective of the management view of solving a problem, specifically when we're talking about business. But really, we're using statistics as part of our structure in the data mining process. There are multiple applications for data mining, and in these slides there are several examples. And I would encourage you to read through these on your own and kind of take a quick look at what could be some data mining applications that you might see in the workspace that you will be involved in now or possibly in the future. All right, in the next series of videos, we'll start talking about the data mining process.